Good evening.
Good evening.
Today is Thursday, July 6th, 2023. We'll open with a prayer, then we'll start. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings we've received and the blessings we've given. We thank you that you graced us with the opportunity to share your word with the world. Right now, Lord, we ask that you bless those that are listening. Anything they need, that you help them. And that you help us have a good night reading. Thank you for the fun that we have. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. I don't know where Jesus always is.
It's right. Get it here, I'll read it.
I'll read it all.
Carrie, can you turn off the fan above the stove, please? Yeah. It's always Embrace and Joy in His Presence by Sarah Young, July 6th. I am before all things, and in me all things hold together. I have always been and will always be. All things were created by me, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible. I am Lord over creation, over the church, over everything. Worship me as your vibrant Lord, the living God. I want my loved ones to thirst for me, as a deer pants for streams of water. Do not be satisfied with only thinking about me or knowing me intellectually. Thirst for experimental knowledge, I cannot say that word. Experiential knowledge of me, grounded in sound biblical truth. Seek to know my love that far surpasses mere knowledge. You will need the help of my Spirit to accomplish this. You must be strengthened by the mighty power of the Holy Spirit, who indwells in your innermost being and personality. Invite him to empower and guide you in this amorous journey or adventure. But remember that I am the goal of your searching. Make me central in your quest. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. For by him all things are created, things in earth and in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible. All things were created by him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Colossians chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. As the deer pants for streams of water, my soul pants for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God and the living God. When can I go and meet with God? Psalm 42, verses 1 and 2. May he grant you, out of the rich treasury of his glory, to be strengthened and reinforced by his mighty power in the inner man by the Holy Spirit. May Christ, through your faith, actually dwell, settle down, abide, make his permanent home in your hearts. May you be rooted deep in love and founded securely in love, that you may really come to know practically through experience for yourselves the love of Christ, for which far surpasses mere knowledge without experience, that you may be filled through all your being unto all the fullness of God. Ephesians chapter 3, verses 16 through 19, Amplified Bible. And you will seek me and find me, and when you search for me with all your heart. Jeremiah 29, verse 13, New King James Version.
Alrighty. Hey Sebastian, can you turn on this light right here?
Kira, can you come turn this light on, please?
Here's that up.
Okay, Mackenzie, will you do it?
Maybe.
Thank you.
Ow, my eyeballs. Hang on.
Oh, this chipstick. All right now.
Alrighty. Psalm chapter 119. The Hebrew alphabet. It's Aleph, correct?
All that.
Aleph. How blessed are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the law of the Lord. How blessed are those who observe his testimonies, who seek him with all their heart. They also do know righteousness. Do know unrighteousness. They walk in his ways. Thou hast ordained thy precepts, that we should keep them diligently. Oh, that my ways may be established to keep thy statutes. Then I shall not be ashamed when I look upon all thy commandments. I shall give thanks to thee with uprightness of heart, when I learn thy righteous judgments. I shall keep thy statutes. Do not forsake me utterly. Beth. How can a young man keep his way pure? By keeping it according to thy word? With all my heart I have sought thee. Do not let me wander from thy commandments. Thy word I have treasured in my heart, that I may not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Lord. Blessed art thou, O Lord. Teach me thy statutes. With my lips I have told of all the ordinances of thy mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies. As much as in all riches, I will meditate on thy precepts. And regard thy ways. I shall delight in thy statutes. I shall not forget thy word. Gimel. Deal bountifully with thy servant, that I may live and keep thy word. Open my eyes, that I may behold wonderful things from thy law. I am a stranger in the earth. Do not hide thy commandments from me. My soul is crushed with longing after thine ordinances at all times. Thou dost rebuke the arrogant, the cursed, who wander from thy commandments. Take away reproach and contempt from me, for I observe thy testimonies. Even though princes sit and talk against me, thy servant meditates on thy statutes. Thy testimonies are also my delight. They are my counselors. Daleth. Did I say that correct? Daleth. My soul cleaves to the dust. Revive me according to thy word. I have told of my ways, and thou hast answered me. Teach me thy statutes. Make me understand the way of thy precepts. So I will meditate on thy wonders. My soul weeps because of grief. Strengthen me according to thy word. Remove the false way from me, and graciously grant me thy law. I have chosen the faithful way. I have placed thine ordinances before me. I cleave to thy testimonies, O Lord. Do not put me to shame. I shall run the way of thy commandments, for thou wilt enlarge my heart. He. Hey,
Yeah, you can say.
E. Teach me, O Lord, the way of thy statutes, and I shall observe it to the end. Give me understanding, that I may observe thy law. Keep it up with all my heart. And keep it up with all my heart. Make me walk in the path of thy commandments. For I delight in it. Incline my heart to thy testimonies, and not to dishonest gain. Turn away my eyes from looking vainly. Is that vainly? No. Vanity. And revive me in thy ways. Establish thy word to thy servant, as that which produces reverence for thee. Turn away my reproach, which I dread. For thine ordinances are good. Behold, I long for thy precepts. Revive me through thy righteousness. Vav, correct. Vav. May thy loving kindness also come to me, O Lord. Thy salvation is according to thy word. So I shall have an answer from him who reproaches me. For I trust in thy word, and do not take the word of truth utterly out of my mouth. For I wait for thine ordinances, so I will keep thy law continually forever and ever. I will walk at liberty, for I seek thy precepts. I will also speak of thy testimonies before kings, and I shall not be ashamed. And I shall delight in thy commandments, which I love, and I shall lift my hands to thy commandments, which I love, and I will meditate on thy statutes. Zion. Remember the word to thy servant, in which thou hast made me, in which thou hast made me hope. This is my comfort in my affliction, that thy word has revived me. The arrogant utterly deride me, yet I do not turn aside from thy law. I have remembered thine ordinances from of old. O Lord, and comfort myself. Burning indignation has seized me because of the wicked, who forsake thy law. Thy statutes are my psalms, in the house of my pilgrimage. O Lord, I remember thy name in the night, and keep thy law. This has become mine, that I observe thy precepts. Heth. The Lord is my portion. I have promised to keep thy words. I entreated thy favor with all my heart. Be gracious to me according to thy word. I considered my ways and turned my feet to thy testimonies. I hastened and did not delay to keep thy commandments. The cords of the wicked have encircled me, but I have not forgotten thy law. At midnight I shall rise to give thanks to thee, because of thy righteous ordinances. I am a companion of all those who fear thee, and of those who keep thy precepts. The earth is full of thy loving kindness, O Lord. Teach me thy statutes. Teth. Thou hast dealt well with thy servants, O Lord, according to thy word. Teach me good discernment and knowledge, for I believe in thy commandments. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I keep thy word. Thou art good, and dost good. Teach me thy statutes. The arrogant have forged a lie against me. With all my heart I will observe thy precepts. Their heart is covered with fat, but I delight in thy law. It is good for me that I was afflicted, that I may learn thy statutes. The law of thy mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. And it's Yod, correct? Yodh.
Good.
Yod?
It should be silent.
Alright. Yod. Thy hands made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding that I may learn thy commandments. May those who fear thee see me and be glad, because I wait for thy word. I know, O Lord, that thy judgments are righteous, and that in faithfulness thou hast afflicted me. O may thy loving kindness comfort me, and according to thy word, to thy servants. May thy compassion come to me, that I may live, for thy law is my delight. May the arrogant be ashamed, for they subvert me with a lie. But I shall meditate on thy precepts. May those who fear thee turn to me, even those who know thy testimonies. May my heart be blameless in thy statutes, that I may not be ashamed. And it's calf, correct? Cough. 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 My soul languishes for thy salvation. I wait for thy word. My eyes fail with longing for thy word, while I say, when wilt thou comfort me? Though I have become like a wineskin in the smoke, I do not forget thy statutes. How many are the days of thy servant? When wilt thou execute judgment on those who persecute me? The arrogant have dug pits for me, men who are not in accord with thy law. All thy commandments are faithful. They have persecuted me with a lie. Help me. They almost destroyed me on earth. But as for me, they did not forsake thy precepts. Revive me according to thy loving kindness, so that I may keep the testimonies of thy mouth.
Lamed.
Lamed.
H is silent.
Alrighty. Forever, O Lord, thy word is settled in heaven. Thy faithfulness continues throughout all generations. Thou didst establish the earth, and it stands. They stand this day according to thine ordinances. For all things are thy servants, and if thy law had not been my delight, then I would have perished in my affliction. I will never forget thy precepts, for by them thou hast revived me. For I am thine, save me, for I have sought thy precepts. The wicked wait for me to destroy me. I shall diligently consider thy testimonies. I have seen a limit to all perfection. Thy commandment is exceedingly broad. Mem. Oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Thy commandments make me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever mine. I have more insight than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the aged, because I have observed thy precepts. I have restrained my feet from every evil way, that I may keep thy word. I have not turned aside from thine ordinances, for thou myself hast taught. How sweet are thy words to my taste, yes, sweeter than honey to my mouth. From thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. It's noon. Thy word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. I have sworn and I will confirm it, that I will keep thy righteous ordinances. I am exceedingly afflicted. Revive me, O Lord, according to thy word. O accept the free will offerings of my mouth, O Lord, and teach me in thine ordinances. My life is continually in my hand, yet I do not forget thy law. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I have not gone astray from thy precepts. Yet I have inherited thy testimonies forever. For they are the joy of my heart. I have inclined my heart to perform thy statutes forever, even to the end. Samek.
So, you're up. Go grab Take a break for a second. Because you still got a ways to go.
I only have like 60 some more verses.
Yeah, you gotta go to Psalm. You gotta go up first. Take a break for a minute.
Just 60 verses.
Uh,
That's it.
But you sound like you're starting to struggle just a little.
Which could also mean that you're losing breath.
I actually need a fart.
Go back. Stream's not going anywhere. I would rather you do that in the bathroom than the fan on. Out here.
I don't need to. Alrighty. Samek. I hate those who are double-minded, but I love thy law. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I wait for thy word. Depart from me, evildoers, that I may observe thy commandments of thy God, of my God. Sustain me according to thy word, that I may live. And do not let me be ashamed of my hope. Uphold me that I may be saved, that I may have regard for thy statutes continually. Thou hast rejected all those who wander from thy statutes, for their deceitfulness is useless. Thou hast removed all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore, I love thy testimonies. My flesh trembles for the fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. Ah, yeah. I have done justice and righteousness. Do not leave me to my oppressors. Be surety for thy servant for good. Do not let the arrogant oppress me. My eyes fail with longing for thy salvation and thy righteous word. Deal with thy servant according to thy loving kindness, and teach me in thy statutes. I am thy servant, give me understanding, that I may know thy testimonies. It is time for the Lord to act, for they have broken thy law. Therefore I love thy commandments. Above gold, yes, above fine gold. Therefore I esteem right all thy precepts concerning everything. I hate every false way. Pay, correct? P-E, pay. Pay. Thy testimonies are wonderful. Therefore my soul observes them. The unfolding of thy words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. I opened my mouth wide and panted, for I longed for thy commandments. Turn to me and be gracious to me. After thy manner with those who love thy name, establish my footsteps in thy word. And do not let any iniquity have dominion over me. Redeem me from the oppression of man, that I may keep thy precepts. Make thy face shine upon thy servants, and teach me thy statutes. My eyes shed streams of water, because they do not keep thy law. Sade. Righteous art thou, O Lord, and upright are thy judgments. Thou hast commanded thy testimonies in righteousness and exceeding faithfulness. My zeal has consumed me, because my adversaries have forgotten thy words. Thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loves it. I am small and despised, yet I do not forget thy precepts. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is truth. Trouble and anguish have come upon me, yet thy commandments are my delight. Thy testimonies are righteous forever. Give me understanding that I may live. And it's Koth, right? Okay. Koth. I cried with all my heart. Answer me, O Lord. I will observe thy statutes. I cry to thee, save me, and I shall keep thy testimonies. I rise before dawn and cry for help. I wait for thy words. My eyes anticipate the night watches, that I may meditate on thy word. Hear my voice according to thy loving kindness. Revive me, O Lord, according to thine ordinances. Those who follow after wickedness draw near. They are far from thy law. Thou art near, O Lord, and thy commandments are truth. Of old I have known from thy testimonies that thou hast founded them forever. Okay. We have 3 more words for the Hebrew alphabet. Resh. Is that correct? Alright. Look upon my affliction and rescue me, for I do not forget thy law. Plead my cause and redeem me. Revive me according to thy word. Salvation is far from the wicked, for they do not seek thy statutes. Great are thy mercies, O God. O Lord, revive me according to thine ordinances. Many are my persecutors and my adversaries, yet I do not turn aside from thy testimonies. I behold the treacherous and loathe them, because they do not keep thy word. Consider how I love thy precepts. Revive me, O Lord, according to thy loving kindness. The sum of thy word is truth, and every one of thy righteous ordinances is everlasting. And it's... what is it now? Shin or Shen?
Sheen.
Sheen. Sheen. Princes persecute me without cause, because of my heart stands in awe of thy words. I rejoice at thy word as one who finds great spoil. I hate and despise falsehood, but I love thy law. 7 times a day I praise thee, because of thy righteous ordinances. Those who love thy law have great peace, and nothing causes them to stumble. I hope for thy salvation, O Lord, and do thy commandments. My soul keeps thy testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. I keep thy precepts and thy testimonies, for all my ways are before thee. And then it's Tav. Let my cry come before thee, O Lord. Give me understanding according to thy word. Let my supplication come before thee. Deliver me according to thy word. Let my lips utter praise, for thou dost teach me thy statutes. Let my tongue sing of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. Let thy hand be ready to help me, for I have chosen thy precepts. I long for thy salvation, O Lord, and thy law is my delight. Let my soul live that it may praise thee, and let thine ordinances help me. I have gone astray like lost sheep. Seek thy servant, for I do not forget thy commandments.
After chapter 1.
The next couple of chapters are the Songs of Ascents.
Chapter 20 is only a verse. You didn't I thought I wanted to help you read it or something. You read it. So I said, I'll read.
120?
While you were reading 119, you took a break and I said, I need a break, I can read for you. But you simply ignored it.
I didn't hear you. Like, honestly.
She said it, but she said it kind of.
I'll read 120. The New International Version, by the way. Psalm chapter 120. The Song of Ascents. I call on the Lord in my distress, and he answers me. Save me, Lord, from lying lips and this deceitful tongue. What will he do to you? And what more besides you deceitful tongue? He'll punish you with a warrior's short arrows, with burning coals of the brush. Woe to me that I dwell in Meshach, that I live among the tents of Kedar. So long I have lived among those who hate peace, for I am for peace. I am for peace. But when I speak, they are for war. Oh, that's the end of that one.
So, the difference between the versions is the one that I read
It says a couple words on
So it says like, what does it say for verse 5?
5. Woe to me that I dwell in Meshach, I live among the tents of Kedar.
So it doesn't say dwell in mine. It says, woe is me, for I sojourn in
And
Meshach.
Same type.
Meshach.
And
Meshach.
the message says, I'm doomed.
Same meaning.
I
in
live
both part.
like I'm doomed.